Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. I hope all is well. Just a quick update real quick. The subject of the measurements of the temple just came back up the last few days. Excuse me. And there was a couple people that I sent a old video that I made a few months ago, and the title had Gog and Magog. It was like, the title was like, what if I told you that all you've been told about the land of Gog and Magog was a lie, or whatever. And I sent that to them because they said they were, I sent that to them because they said that they were interested in what I told them about regarding the measurements of the temple. And these verses right here in Ezekiel 43, it wasn't in that video. I think I only read from chapter 40, maybe like 38 or 39. And, today, when I went to work and I was on the job, I put my headphones in and I played that video before I sent it to them two people. And I listened to it, and I actually was blown away even more, like Abba does me every day. Every day, it's something brand new. It's just like a never-ending blossoming flower. But I was listening to that, and I was thinking, man, there's so much in there that if anyone wants to know about the measurements of the temple, they can find it right there, just in that video. But you know what? Here's what I came to tell you about real quick. Here's part of the update. No one wants to know. No one wants to know why we are to know the measurements of the temple. No one wants to read 43 verse 10 right here, where it says, Son of man, explain the house to the house of Yasharal, and when they are ashamed of their crookedness, they shall measure the measurements. Okay, no one cares about that, do they? No one. So just think about that for a minute. If you can bless yourself with a couple moments or a couple seconds just to maybe let your brain go to the question, why would his children need to get out a measuring tape or a ruler and measure the measurements when they are ashamed? Is that punishment or something? It's not punishment. That's why you need to hear this. And I'm gonna, before I read it any further, if you ain't touched that dial yet, let me tell you the key right here. This is the key. We argued, like, if you're on Facebook, you'll probably see this on Facebook. If you are a Torah observant person or whatever, Hebrew Israelite, whatever, do you know, just like I do, that the level of arguments and debate, like mindless, fruitless debates that the Christians have over us wanting to keep the Torah, when I know I can speak for myself, and I've witnessed other people that I know having conversations that I've seen that it went the same way. Most Christians, like if you try to tell them about the name or the holidays, they rebuke you. Their vampire fangs come out. They call you all kinds of names. They do. I get it all the time. All the time. It's amazing. It's a wonder if one day goes by where a Christian isn't saying, I'm a liar, I'm misguided, I'm wrong, right? And then whenever I make sure to be as gentle and as fair and lovingly committed as I possibly can with them. When they accuse me of something, I just say, well, can you tell me how I am that? Can you explain that to me, how I am? And they never do. They just keep going in circles, and it's just nonsense. That's what happens. And do you ever wonder why that is? I know you do, because I know that you're probably someone, if you're listening to this, you've probably put thought and effort into trying to form some kind of a strategy or a game plan in order to help those people to break, to do whatever you got to do to make a breakthrough on that wall they have put up. It's something. It's so simple. If you want to know, the Most High has showed me today how you get through that wall. How they have to get through that. How they have to, what they have to do in order to get past that wall that they have up that won't let them talk. They put their fingers in their ears like little children. They don't want to hear you saying that you keep the Torah. They hate that. You know, they tell you it's done away with. You're putting yourself under it. You're condemning yourself. All these things, you know. Well, the way that you have to do that, the only way to come out of that nonsense and that delirious delusion is you have to know the measurements of the temple. Yeah, you do. Because look, and since they shall be ashamed of all that they did, make known to them the design of the house and its structure and its exits and its entrances, its design, its entire design, and all its laws and all its forms and all its Torah, and write it down before their eyes so that they observe its entire design. Here's the key part. And all its laws, and shall do them. This is the Torah of the house. You want to know the Torah of the house? The Torah of the house. Upon the mountaintop, all the boundary of it, all around, is most set apart. See, this is the Torah of the house. So if you go back in Ezekiel, and I encourage you to do so, I've read tons of it out of here, or here on Allstein. It's a beautiful, amazing, mind-blowing, full of hidden gems and treasures is the book of Ezekiel. And now that you read that, and maybe you listened to what I just said, if you go back and read Ezekiel, when it's given you all the measurements of the house, of the set-apart place, it talks about the gates. Okay, and it says there's a gate on the east, a gate on the south, a gate on the west, and a gate on the north wall that surrounds the set-apart place. You just seen what the wall is, right? The boundary of it all around is most set apart. See, this is the Torah of the house. Okay, the gates are made of solid pearl. This is all metaphor, all parables. There's 4 gates, okay? And each of those gates of pearl are truths that are connected to the Torah that bring you back to Torah. That's the only way you get into that house. And trust me, it's more complex than that. I mean, there's so much detail to it, and I want to get into all of it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. But the only way to get in is there's 4 different individual truths that are called gates that give you access through the first wall, through that wall. And then once you get in there, in order to get into what they call the Holy of Holies, there's other measurements that you have to observe. There's other facets of the house that you have to know all about. You do. And here's the second key to what I'm trying to tell you, and then I'm going to end it. I'm just trying to be quick with this real quick. Everything everything I'm talking about right now, I have been led by Abba, by his hand. He's led me by my hand, and he's taken it nice and slow. You ever heard that song? She wants a man with a slow hand. She wants a lover with an easy touch. That's how Abba is with me. I mean, if you're frowning right now, then you don't know nothing about it. Okay? Because everything he has shown me, he's had to gently, with a slow hand, with an easy touch, knowing all the right moves, he's led me by fountains of clear waters of truth and green pastures to lie down. The reason that I was talking about that he showed us. Now, see, I got to back up. I can't be taking none of the credit for the words that are in his word. That's all him. There's no way. The only thing I have credit in is loving it, feasting. I love to feast on it, and I could sit and read it all day long. I've read it. Just to be honest, I've sat here and read it all day. Besides when I went to work, I woke up. Every day I wake up reading it. I read it all day long. I read it while I'm working. I read it when I come home. I read it in the morning. I read it in the afternoon and at supper time. I never stop. Okay? And that is the only thing. That is what it takes for you to, for anyone to be capable of what I'm going to talk about right now. I'm going to try to be quick. The reason that the Most High showed us about the Song of Moshe and the Song of the Lamb. If you get that word singing and song in your mind and go start reading, get hungry, get a fire in your belly to read the word and go start reading it, and you're going to see all kinds of places in the word where it talks about singing. Look, and this is the second part to a huge, valuable, fiery pearl of fire that can set anyone free from these chains. Listen to what the word's going to tell you, and let Abba lead you by his Spirit to put it all together. 35 of Isaiah, verse 1. Let the wilderness and the dry place be glad for them, and let the desert rejoice and blossom as the rose. Before I go any further, you know one thing though that is so sad and disgusting is the majority of the people that might happen to hear this, they're laughing. They don't see what I'm about to. If you are hungry like me, you should be on your toes right now, excited for what you probably know that I'm about to get to right now. You should be thrilled at the thought of what you're probably going to hear. It blossoms much and rejoices, even with joy and singing. The esteem of Lebanon shall be given to it. To what? The excellence of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the esteem of Yahuwah, the excellency of our mighty Most High. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf be opened, right? Then the lame shall leap like a deer, like I'm doing right now, and the tongue of the dumb sing, because waters shall burst forth where in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the home for jackals, where each lay grass with reeds and rushes. And there shall be a highway and a way, and it shall be called the way of set apartness. The unclean does not pass over it, but it is for those who walk in the way, and no fools wander on it. No lion is there, nor any ravenous beast go up on it. It is not found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed of Yahuwah shall return and enter Sion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. That's that song of the Lamb right there. That everlasting good news that you are to fear the Most High. And it's the same song of Moses. But the only way, or the reward for having the utmost reverence, respect, esteem, and fear for Abba Yahuwah is that you're going to be singing like I am one day. I don't have that very good of, I don't have, my voice is horrible. But trust me when I tell you, I'm singing to the high heavens. I'm letting my voice be heard. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. Every spot, pretty much. I told you I've been reading all day. I bet I've come across 100 different spots in His Word where the word song or singing is mentioned. And just take a guess what it's talking about every time. See, the former predictions have come, and new ones I am declaring. Before they spring forth, I let you hear them. He's been telling me. I've been trying to tell you. Sing to Yahuwah a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down to the sea and all that is in it, you coastlands and you inhabitants of them. Let the wilderness and its cities lift up their voice, the villages where Kedar dwells. Let the inhabitants of Selah sing. Let them shout from the top of the mountains. Let them give esteem to Yahuwah and declare His praise in the coastlands. Now I want you to get verse 14, and so you can understand what's going on. You hear about people tell you regarding the end times, they say the earth is going through birthing pains. Well, what's it giving birth to? You ever thought about that? It's given birth to the renewed Yerushalayim that's coming down out of the heaven, not out of the sky, but the news of it come from heaven. And it's blossoming like a flower. I've been singing the praises about it. I've been singing the esteem and the praise of Abba Yahuwah because of what He's shown me regarding it. I have kept silent from of old. I have been still and I held myself back. Like a woman in labor, I now cry out. I pant and gasp at once. I lay waste mountains and hills, and I dry up all their plants. And I shall make rivers become coastlands, and I dry up pools. And I shall lead the blind by a way they have not known, and paths they have not known. I lead them. I make darkness light before them, and crooked places straight. These matters I shall do for them, and I shall not forsake them. Everywhere that you can find where it mentions singing or a song, it's regarding you singing your voice because you're returning back home. You've returned to the Torah, to the temple, to the courtyard, into the gates, into His set apart place, and at the same time to its actual geographical location. And if you're someone who can actually consider this, like a few of you have, just keep that on your mind. Keep the singing on your mind, and keep the dry places, the parched places springing forth in the wilderness. There's a reason He says all that. He's talking about home. That it's as a woman in labor does. She's given birth. And us right here, you and me on all esteem, we've been a part of that. We've been a part of this labor that the earth is going through, as Abba is shining light on where the true set apart place is. And everywhere you go, look, I shall say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. He shall bring out a blind people who have eyes, and deaf ones who have ears. I mean, you can go on and read everywhere in here. It never, I would say this, there ain't a chapter that I haven't seen in Isaiah, Jeremiah, or Ezekiel, where the secret hidden place of the set apart place is being revealed, where it mentions that. I promise you. And just, prove me wrong if you don't believe me. Prove me wrong. See, I am doing what is new. Let it now spring forth. Do you not know it? I am even making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the deserts. The beasts of the field esteem me, the jackals and ostriches, because I have given water in the wilderness and rivers in the deserts, to give drink to my people, my chosen. It's all through here, my Mishpachah. All through here. And I'm gonna guess that one of those pearls, or at least one of those measurements, is something to do. It is the knowledge of the land being right here and not where they've told you. Because there's so much more that I've seen since I strongly looked at those measurements and why I needed to know them. And once I started to dig into them and learn them and observe them, the land has started to spring forth. And my eyes have become open and my ears have become open. They've been turned on. Turn yours on if they're not already. I love you. Till next time. Peace out.